Hey folks, so welcome to a very special episode of Now Playing. I'm your host, Daniel Dwyer, and if you know me on the internet, you know I like playing first-person shooters, especially 90s style arena battle first-person shooters, and I also like a good single-player campaign as well, so I'm very happy to be joined by two of the creatives behind Doom. Straight up, just called Doom 2016. Marty, sir, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Good to see you here.
Yeah.
EP on the project.
Yes, sir.
You've been at id for a little while now.
Yeah.
You worked on Quake Live. And
I did, yeah. I've been around id since 2000, so about 16 years. Worked on even worked on id games before. I was with Activision before that, so yeah, I've been around id games pretty much my whole career. Worked on Quake Live and have this great opportunity.
Yeah, it's a big project to sort of take the reins on, I guess.
Absolutely.
And Hugo, same for yourself as well. You've been working in video games for a while.
Yeah.
You were at Naughty Dog as well, but recently you worked with Guillermo del Toro on Pacific Rim as well, correct? Right?
I did. Yeah, a little bit of film and games and some animation stuff, commercials in different places, Blur Studios. So
excellent. And what's your role on the Doom project?
I'm the creative director.
Excellent. So you guys are tasked with bringing this beast back to life.
Yeah.
That's right.
2004, I guess?
Yeah.
Great.
Doom 3 was the last.
Yeah. Great year for first-person shooters. Half-Life 2 came out that year as
Yeah,
well.
absolutely.
And we're getting back into it now. Some really good FPSs coming out this year. Overwatch, Doom's in our game. A lot of people excited about the beta as well. You guys had last month.
Last week.
Last week was
Yeah.
it really? God, it was that recent.
Yeah.
What was the feedback from that? How do you guys feel about it? I feel like with a game like Doom, you're always going to appeal to a certain group, but if you appeal to them, you're always going to irk another group. So what was the reception like?
Yeah, it's overall, we were really happy with the reception. We got just a ton of people playing, ton of matches, thousands and thousands of matches. Big for us is making sure that the systems all work on the back end, at least from a development perspective. You always hope that the servers stand up and nothing fails, and all of the matchmaking we do with first party works really well. And that was about as flawless as we could have hoped. So everybody got to play and have a really good time. And like you said, there's feedback. There was some feedback we got from mainly the PC community.
Right.
They talked about, it was kind of all over the place, but talked about settings, gameplay settings that we had added advanced settings box that they wanted a little bit more information on. So we released that, and we're going to be doing a series of tech articles that really dive into all of the things that you can do with the game.
Gotta have that FOV slider.
Exactly. Yeah. Actually, we have an FOV slider even in the console version, which is kind of unheard of and really pretty cool. And then gameplay wise, we get feedback from just about the entire spectrum.
Yeah.
We went into it very much with a feeling that Doom is on the multiplayer side. It was, when you're talking about making a game for 2016, a little bit more of a blank slate for us, I think, than even the single player side. So we really tried to do what we've done throughout the project, which is kind of be inspired by the types of things that you do in Doom, and the things that are fun and exciting, and the kind of water cooler moments of Doom, but bring them forward, make a modern experience out of it, make it something that even if you've never played Doom before, you can have a lot of fun with and really enjoy. But if you've played it before, there's a familiarity to it. So we really we played a ton internally. We love it. We have a ton of fun with it. And I think by and large, a lot of people had fun with the beta.
Yeah. Certain Affinity did a good amount of work on that as well.
Yeah, we worked with them as a partner. They've been involved in the project for a number of years as well. We have a small team of multiplayer developers internally. We manage it all, direct it all, and then they have a great team as well there that they have they have a good bit of experience with multiplayer map development. Yeah. They've done it on several projects, and we really had a great working relationship with those guys. They're a talented team.
Yeah, I could talk about the multiplayer in that. I did a live stream of it last week. Like I went back and played Doom 1, 2, and 3 recently, and I'm a massive Quake fan.
Yeah.
And for me, it felt different in so many ways, and it was ways that especially when I saw gameplay of it, I really wasn't sure. But actually, when I got into it, the flow of it felt really good. But we could talk about multiplayer all day. I don't want to talk about any more multiplayer because you guys are here with the single player.
Yeah, it
which
is important to note with it, that beta was just kind of the tip of the iceberg. You know,
Right.
it was a beta. Like there's a lot more guns. There's a lot more armor sets. There's we've got tons of modes.
Levels.
Yeah, way different levels. So if you played it, you loved it. You play it, you were still on the fence about it. I would encourage anybody just to pick it up. And again, the multiplayer is just a small sliver of it. We got Snap Map, and we've got obviously what we're showing today with Campaign.
You guys are pretty close to release. Any more multiplayer betas before?
No, I think we're
Okay,
done with multiplayer betas.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're on the cusp of shipping. So
Sweet, yeah, no, May 13th, right?
Yeah.
Super close.
Yeah.
Last piece of housekeeping on this bad boy. If you're watching live, we have some sweet swag to give away. Everyone's favorite, the Cyber Demon right here, signed by our two prestigious guests right here, Hugo and Marty. You can win this bad boy. You can also win one of, I think, 10 other little prizes we have. Doom branded swag, little, I'm not sure if they're also Cyber Demons, but they're little models. To win that, retweet the GameSpot thing that we done tweeted earlier. Make sure you're following us so we can get your address. I am very much under the assumption that this is North America only. Apologies to all my Irish brethren. You'll have to check that out on a different live stream. All right, let's dive into it. Doom, check it out.
yeah, absolutely. So this is we're starting at in a facility, a UAC facility called the Resource Operations Center, and really this is the second mission in the game. You've kind of woken up and made your way out of a kind of a top secret bunker. You really have no idea why you're there,
And everything's going fine.
yeah, and everything is not going fine. There's been a massive demonic invasion, and you make your way across the Martian surface and end up here. You're here to reestablish some communication so you can figure out what has happened. I'll talk about a few things and then kind of let the gameplay speak for itself. You're noticing kind of these orange highlights that appear. Those are what we call glory kill highlights. Love the blood.
Oh, nice touchpads. Doom 3 throwback there.
Yeah, exactly. Those are glory kill highlights. When you do a certain amount of damage to an enemy, it allows you to put them in a state where they're kind of stunned, and you can go up and do a kind of a fantastic melee kill execution on them, or you can shoot them, and you use them strategically as you play as well.
Yeah, is there what's the benefit to that apart from the sort of aesthetic?
You actually you get extra health and ammo from them, so that there's a kind of a gameplay perspective.
You're kind of auto looting them, so far.
Yeah, I mean it's funny in our game. You don't stop to regenerate health. You pick it up in the world. Here Hugo just found a secret by finding the auto map station and activating it, realizing there's something above him. But yeah, so there's the gameplay benefit of kind of stopping them. The combat is just it's sometimes overwhelming. So being able to stagger a guy and stop him and know that he's not going to move for a few minutes, even if you don't glory kill him or you decide I'm going to take him out with guns. It's a huge gameplay benefit. Again, this is pretty early, so we're just kind of ramping the player up to some of the mechanics and some of the ideas that are different than a lot of other games right now.
Yeah, right at the gate, there's some nice little throwbacks to, like, obviously the Doom 3 kind of esque menus. The map there was very much sort of like old 90s Doom style. The pace of this, though, this is very much more like classic Dooms than opposed to something like Doom 3, which would be the closest graphical in terms of like the relationship between these games.
Yeah, and as you see, as we get further in, it gets really fast. So here, you can use the auto map to figure out there's some armor up there, so you find your way up. But a lot of Doom's always another big part of Doom is exploration. So when he pulls that up, you can see like the number of secrets alone that are in this map. I think there's like 9 or something like that. And actually, we're gonna show here as he plays through. There's kind of a straightforward way to play through, and then for players who really want to look around, they want 100% the level, they want to find all the upgrade possibilities, you really can. This is actually, again, we're kind of introducing the player to the types of gameplay feel things that you get throughout the game. This is fairly flat, but you get the idea. Like, I'm surrounded by enemies, and you're constantly pushing forward. If you get hurt, you kind of charge in and take a guy out so you can gain some health.
How many different types of the zombies are there then? How many like subclasses are we talking?
Yeah, there's a few. You kind of kill them fast enough to so fast you don't even realize
That
it.
guy's taking a beating now.
sometimes. Yeah, those hellified soldiers are really cool. There's a few versions of those as well that shoot different. You'll notice, kind of very important aspect of Doom is the fact that most of the enemy's attacks are projectiles.
Right.
And you're often faster than the enemies and faster than the projectiles. So the mechanic of weaving in and out of projectiles as they're flying towards you and dodging them and using your movement as a defense is a massive part of the game.
Yeah, but yeah, big aspect of the game historically, for sure. Let's let the game breathe for a little while. I just want to sit back because I know there's a bunch of people watching on the live stream. It'd be nice to just sort of crank up the volume and check.
Here at the UAC, we take pride in nurturing a growing workforce, and each year we harvest only the best of the best. Are you ready to move up? To take on new challenges? To become more than you ever dreamed you could be? Talk to your supervisor to see if you meet the requirements for this year's Soul Harvest.
Try to figure out that, or decide to skip.
Yeah, I guess traversal has always been a part of. Exploration has always been a part of Doom. Traversal, not really. I mean, you're talking about the first Doom. You couldn't even, mouse look was something that came later.
Or jump, yeah.
Yeah, or jumping, exactly. Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Yes. The chainsaw is obviously just a ton of fun to use, but it also has distinct gameplay advantages. Actually, why don't you, after this, we can turn those, we can turn those off. The tutorials keep popping up. This is actually a good little example of the types of things you can kind of customize the play. So you can turn off the HUD, you can turn off the compass, you can turn off the glory kill highlights. If you just want to play like stripped down, all I see is my gun, you can do that. On the console, you can change the field of view, which is kind of unheard of.
How high does it go?
110.
110,
Which is,
all right,
yeah, it's really
120 is for cool. Well, that's for 90 is the lowest it goes.
Yeah, 90 is the default.
This isn't Quake 3 we're playing here.
That's right. But the chainsaw has some pretty distinct gameplay advantages. You can see when he picked it up, it added his chainsaw fuel in the bottom right there underneath the gun, the little red markers.
Oh, so there's an ammunition for the chainsaw as well?
Yeah, and the bigger the enemy, the more ammunition or the more fuel it takes to kill him. So you're when you use the chainsaw on an enemy, it dumps a massive amount of ammo. And so you're always kind of making this decision about, do I want the one-hit kill against an enemy? Like a bigger enemy, you may use all your fuel to take them down and get that one ammo dump, or you can save it and use it, multiple times on smaller enemies, and kind of have that more constant replenishment of ammo.
How much weapon cycling then do you sort of think gamers will be doing? A lot, yeah, because that's kind of like
you do it constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is pretty early. We try to ramp the player up again with the experience. At this point in the game, you pretty much have the shotgun, the combat shotgun, and the pistol. But as they so it's kind of all about introducing the concept of these combat arenas, the movement, the mantling, constantly moving forward, and not having to worry too much about weapon switching. But then as you pick up the weapons, you end up carrying them all with you, plus all your mods that you pick up, your gun mods. So you end up with about 20-ish types of gun things that you can shoot with when you factor in all the mods. Another just great examples of secrets. We'll kind of come back to that. And then we get them into kind of spaces like this. You've heard us probably refer to these things as like skate parks, and when you kind of look at them from that perspective, you can kind of see how this feels like a place that you would just want to run through and flow through.
Yeah, is that the idea is to keep like sort of forward momentum for the player?
Yeah, absolutely. always giving them a space. This is kind of early. These enemies are kind of protecting this gore nest, and then when you actually the demons build these, and when you go in to take it out, it kind of summons kind of a last stand of enemies around it. So it makes it this really fun moment of kicking off a massive battle.
Yeah, you don't
so
want
this
to mess with the gore nest.
yeah, this is a good one just to kind of sit back and enjoy the show. Nothing like exploding rails. So fun.
Demonic presence eliminated. Lockdown disengaged.
So you saw there a couple things. This gun, this combat shotgun, actually has a couple mods on it. Hugo's been using the explosive shot mod. And the way the mods work is you find them in the world at these supply drones. Walk up to them and it scans your inventory and figures out which ones that you can which ones are available, which guns you're carrying, and then gives you a choice of mods. So you really get a broad choice of how you approach the gameplay.
Is it a single mod for weapon?
There's two mods for most weapons. A gun like the super shotgun only doesn't have any mods.
But a single mod
just so
slot?
classic. Yeah, you actually if you've got both mods, you carry both mods, and you can hot swap between them. So here he just switched to, well, he switched back to the explosive shot. But the other mod for this gun is a triple burst, and those are activated all with the left trigger. So no real aim down sight. The left trigger is used for mod capabilities on the guns.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so this is a supply drone right here. He happens to have both mods. All he has right now is the pistol and the shotgun, but that's how you can get those.
Interesting time for id Properties. I mean, Machine Games did a fantastic job with Wolfenstein: The New Order.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think anyone expected that to be. I mean, you could very easily say with a straight face that might be the best Wolfenstein game. I mean,
yeah.
It's certainly like one of the best first-person shooters to come out in a couple of years. How did that feel with id internally, like having this game sort of get worked on and do really well and be like well received by gamers around the world? Do you have that sort of? I know Doom must have its own responsibility already, but were you sort of even more sort of inspired to do well because of what they did?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're really close to the Machine Game guys. We share technology and kind of all throughout that they brought their own. Go get the secret now. That's really cool. So he's gonna go back and actually, so he could I'll talk about the Machine Games guys in just a second, but he's basically gotten to a level. He got the yellow key, but if you noticed earlier, there's a couple little. So if you don't want any spoilers on how to find secrets, maybe you can turn away or something.
You probably have forgotten in 3 weeks' time.
That's right. Yeah. But you can actually go back and if you remember, he saw a door that also could use the yellow key. And, and it was kind of locked. It has a security panel in it that locks down some other hatches. All of the weapons you can find in an earlier level. So if you want to, if you really want to dive in and explore for secrets, there's just some really cool stuff that you can find. You can actually find upgrades earlier and that kind of thing. So here he's kind of dove into a secret. But yeah, as far as Wolfenstein, I think they just did an awesome job with it, and it's great to be, we get to work with Machine Games, we get to, we're kind of sister studios with Bethesda Game Studios,
right,
and almost everything they do is super inspiring. So it's really fun. It just drives everybody to do more and more. And even better work. So this right here is actually your Praetor suit upgrade screen. He just got that chip out of the Elite Guard, and finding those, totally exploration based, finding those lets you upgrade your suit to do all different kinds of increased abilities. This is the secret pickup for the plasma gun. So
oh, nice.
Most players, when they play through the first time, or if they haven't been fortunate enough to watch this stream, they won't even know this is here. But if you really dive in, you look around, look for your secrets, and then this secret actually just continues. You can kind of continue on and find even more stuff, but we can. Yeah, either way.
Any gun pickups that then 15 monster claws that open up the minute you?
There's a few little surprises like that. Yeah, that was kind of a thing in Doom 3. You picked up something and there was it's a classic.
Down.
Yeah. You see that a little bit more in Hell on some of our levels. There's a lot of if you've played a lot of Doom, I think. When you get into the Hell levels, this is actually kind of a super secret within a secret. If you actually skip the mod drone, and then you find the gun that you from the secret, you can come back and it recognizes that you've picked it up. So now you get to pick a mod here for the heavy assault rifle.
Do you get the mod by punching the drone?
You do, yes.
Okay.
He's very aggressive. He has.
Doom Marine has no patience.
He has no patience for anything. He just wants to destroy things.
We're going to show, you guys are going to show a bunch of other parts of the game as well. So for folks who are asking about Mars Hell and Beyond, you're going to show off.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. We got a few sections to show. We're showing about this is actually out on the surface of Mars, right outside of this facility. You get a sense of kind of what the outdoors is like.
Yeah, let's sit back and have a little watch of this.
This is the grip.
Oh, nice.
It's a good little power up. A lot of times you'll enter a space and actually see a power up and decide, I don't want to pick that up quite yet because maybe I've got a lot of health, or I feel like I can control the combat, and just wait till the moment where I've lost control of the combat before I actually pick it up.
So one of the great things that Doom sort of always did historically, and you're seeing a little bit of it here, I guess, with the different types of zombies, is having that enemy variety and like having to pick and choose who you take on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you'll get a good sense of that as we jump ahead and show some other stuff. Actually, we can do that now.
Yeah, no worries.
We've kind of cleared that outdoor area. Yeah, we call it when we're talking about it internally, and we're talking about the way we want gameplay to feel. It's always about like this kind of chessboard feel of things, where each enemy is very distinctive. The arenas, the combat spaces are built specifically for combat. They're not, we try to make sure they stay grounded in a reality of visuals and that kind of thing. But but it's really very much about gameplay and movement and kind of the fluidity and giving you opportunities to jump down and get up and mantle and giving the demons opportunities to kind of use the environment. Similarly, you saw imps that would crawl up the walls or crawl up the pillars and fire from up above.
Where did that impetus to have that type of movement come from? Because it's I mean, Doom 1 and 2 were very fast games, but they weren't games where you were, obviously we talked earlier about there being no jump button as well. Yeah. And then even Doom 3 probably suffered from the opposite of what you're talking about, which is that it almost felt too grounded, and then the combat in that game was a little bit restricted by the sort of how real the base was.
Yeah.
So where did you guys come from the angle of like, oh, we're going to make this Doom game, we're going to make it where you're like mantling and jumping and spinning fast, and because to me as a layman that seems more like Quake almost, that type of gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're always kind of a product of the influences of the past. So you know, I mean, there's a lot of us have played a lot of Quake, and there is that kind of fluidity of movement and pace of movement that's fun. When we started early kind of pre-production development on this, we were just doing a lot of prototyping of stuff, and we knew we wanted, you know, movement was key, and so some of the early prototypes were with things like double jump mechanics and mantling, and I suppose the underlying kind of element of all of it was just the pace and the fluidity of movement. And you know, you kind of, we have these big structures, the UAC and Hell. I mean, you kind of have this massive scope to it, and to be able to climb through it and have that be a major part of it, it just fit the kind of early on, and we'd done some early prototypes where it worked really well. So that was kind of I think it was really, you know, kind of along with the glory kills, some of the early gameplay iteration that we did, and trying just a bunch of different things in a prototype state that really it just fit well with how we wanted to approach gameplay.
You're gonna show another little...
Actually we're gonna jump into Lazarus Labs. This is a little more than halfway through the game, and is really part of. We've taken a step with the UAC where we've really tried to kind of give them a level of depth and kind of character that is that I think is cool, and deepens the lore and the mystery around them, and starts to explain things like why they were experimenting on demons and why that would even be somewhat acceptable. Yeah, like we strapped rockets to the back of a Revenant. We'll show here. This is obviously further in the game, so you have many more weapons and mods for those guns. So here, Hugo's upgrading his explosive shot. We normally you don't get to this place in the game and you don't have 33 upgrade points to spend. We're just doing that from just so we can show you some of this stuff. Here, he's upgrading the heat blast mod, improved venting, with all of our, at a fundamental level. All of the mods and all of the upgrades really are elements that that do significant change to the gun. It's not just like a 5% upgrade that you work for. It's really something significant. And I think as people dive in and play it, we don't want to spend too much time on the menus here. But here he's upgrading his environmental resistance. This is more related to your person, so you can see things like if you're a player who wants to find secrets, you can use the area scanning equipment. Dexterity is one of my favorites. I think Hugo's too, because we really like to play the game fast. So
this is all stuff that carries level through level.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and here's our runes.
All right.
Another area that you can really change the way you play. Hugo's going to set it up so that he actually plays faster. So you can see he equipped here the Savagery rune and the Blood Fueled runes. The Savagery rune lets him do glory kills even faster, and the Blood Fueled, when you do a glory kill, it gives you a speed boost. So you just are zipping through the environment at almost uncontrollable speeds sometimes.
Do the runes unlock? Are they pickups, or do they unlock via the levels?
You actually find these kind of hellish tablets throughout the game, and those open up challenges that they kind of take you to a whole different experience, almost like these little arcade experiences that some of them are about moving fast, some of them are about killing enemies in a certain amount of time, all different types, blowing up barrels, all different types of little kind of like arcadey challenges.
To resolve any questions or concerns.
So this part, I mean, Lazarus is a pretty loaded term. What's going on here? Is this some sort of religious
It is. We've kind of, with the UAC, we've kind of merged religion and science, and like the cult. You really do get this, like, they were really pretty bizarre in what they did, and as you pick up codex entries, again, we really do try to keep the story very environmental. You pick up things as you play through the game. Kind of see little nods to things that they were doing. You can
Are there any emails from Nigerian businessmen that can do through?
No emails. But we do have a codex that you.
Whoa, is that a pinky? Is that what they look like?
Yeah.
Whoa, okay. They're bipedal again.
Yep. Yeah, again, very inspired, but totally new.
Oh. Did you just rip its butt out?
I ripped its tail off.
I was not expecting to see one actually. I was looking forward to seeing it because the redesigned Pinky in Doom 3 I remember was really something else.
Yeah.
That's
so
really
there's the Pinky. He's awesome. Pinky. And even here you can find these little data pads throughout that give you lore on all the demons and the different characters, the weapons,
backstories,
little backstories about each of them.
Motivation.
Yeah, and it's all it's all for the player that just wants to blast through and play fast and do an awesome stream or wants to do a speed run. It's out of their way, but for the player who really wants more information on all this stuff, it's really there.
Yeah, that must be a difficult thing to marry, trying to like appeal to the sort of Doom purists, and then obviously, especially with the multiplayer, you guys, you're making you're nodding towards new generations. You know what I mean? Like I was young when Doom came out, and I'm 30 now, so like it was a long time ago.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it is even just like this, like multiple ways into spaces. Like that way, if you kind of look around and you explore, you actually get a mega health, which is I mean, it's a massive upgrade. But yeah, really trying to, I said it while we were talking before the show, trying to find that balance for, if you've never played Doom before, you come in and you're like, man, this is fun, this is awesome, this isn't like something I'm playing right now. It's fast and I'm dodging projectiles, not reloading my gun, things like this Revenant just. He looks crazy. He's this giant skeleton with a jetpack and rocket launchers on his shoulder.
When you go into the inventory, does it like slow it down to like quarter speed or something as well?
Yeah,
it
goes into a bit of a slow mode so that you get your chance. But the thing is like you don't have to hold long enough to go into slow mo. So once you learn the placements of your guns, you can actually quick flip. And switch to any gun just as if you like no slowdown whatsoever. So like there, Hugo swapped between two guns that are those two actually happen to be next to each other on the wheel, but you can swap from any gun to any other gun, and it doesn't slow it down at all. And then changing mods, if he wanted to change to say the triple burst mod, he could do that in a single button press, and it would quick change there.
Did you guys go double wielding on any of these bad boys?
No double wielding. It's almost enough to manage with like the whole weapon wheel.
Yeah, I was kind of about to say, you've got a lot of systems kind of happening here with the mods and whatnot. What was the impetus of doing the mods? Because like obviously Doom guns, that was always the big thing, So you put in a bunch of guns. How many were in this? 20 or so, you said?
There's 8 core guns, guns plus the BFG and the chainsaw. And there's actually, it's kind of interesting how we handle those. I'll talk about that. So 8 core guns, and then a bunch of them have a couple mods to them. So you end up with a lot of combinations that you have access to. And the mods really came out of wanting additional functionality for the guns, but also wanting to keep the wheel very manageable and very fast.
Especially on console, I imagine that's probably more of a problem.
Yeah, but even on the PC, I mean, it's honestly the kind of the impetus for the weapon wheel and being able to go from any weapon to any weapon really fast. It comes from playing on the PC. That's when you're carrying 8 or 9 or 10 guns. We've all played Quake 3 or honestly any of our games. And on the PC, it's awesome just to be able to reach up and hit that thing. Or I've played thousands of hours of Quake 3, and I bind the weapons I like to keys right around WSAD.
Right. So like grenade launchers nowhere to be seen.
It's like I'm going railgun and lightning gun right under my fingers. And that's kind of the idea behind the weapon wheel from a console perspective, and even from a PC perspective. It works very similarly. Is that you have that immediacy of getting to any gun just in one fast movement. And it works great with mouse and keyboard as well. I mean, we really designed it taking all platforms into account.
Speaking of mods, actually bizarrely in recent years with Brutal Doom, we've seen Doom kind of get its own little resurgence. How are you guys going to be sort of dealing with mods on the PC version? Are you allowing people to do them? Are you supporting them?
So we basically have a whole component that we built called SnapMap that really is it's trying to take mods and open them up to just about everybody. We've spent a ton of time working a lot on that, making that as robust as we possibly can, giving people a massive opportunity. We just did a stream recently that showed kind of the capabilities there, and even then we're still just kind of scratching the surface of what's capable. And then our plan is honestly to kind of see how things go with that, listen to the community, see what how we might move forward, kind of in concert with SnapMap, and go from there. So we're really we're hoping people do some and honestly traditional modders are some of the ones that do the coolest stuff with SnapMap right out of the gates.
SnapMap specifically, it's like level. I've seen some of the videos of it over the past year or so. That's specifically like level design stuff.
Yeah, you can basically, there's a ton of modules that you basically can configure in multiple ways. You can customize them, but the power of it is really in the logic, and that's kind of connecting different components to other components. It's a bit of like an erector set for building gameplay and game levels.
Is it just multiplayer, or is it also single player? Can you?
You can make single player. You can. It's 2 to 4 player co-op or multiplayer out of the box, and we're going to be, just like I said. I mean, we're going to be listening to what people do, what they like about it, what they different things that they want, and have already said that all of our updates for SnapMap are free. So we're going to just give people more and more ways to use that and do really cool things. But you literally can create almost any game mode that you want in SnapMap, just using the logic.
Man, that super shotgun.
Yeah, the super
Always
shotgun
powerful.
is awesome. It's probably my favorite gun in the campaign. This is actually where one of our rune trials that gives you a
Nice.
rune is in a secret. So you kind of see it behind the wall.
Press spacebar
there.
on all the walls.
Yeah, most of them are highlighted, but some of the secret ones you kind of have to look for. So that's actually what this you see this thing and you kind of come up to it and you can touch it.
I wouldn't touch that.
It gives you it's green. Green's good, and it gives you a good sense of what you can do and what the challenge is, what you get. You get the get richer mod. We're not gonna dive into that, but
So that spawns in sort of a different instance somewhere. In there.
yeah. You basically touch that, and that takes you to this challenge mode. So we're gonna jump ahead again and go to hell.
Great.
Which is awesome.
Go to hell.
Go to
You're
hell.
guests here on a show, and you're telling me to go to hell.
We fight like hell. Now we're gonna go to hell.
Hell's a tough one, right? Because it's like the Half-Life Zen problem. It's like sometimes when you shift focus away from what the core of the game is, you can sort of lose focus. What's it been like developing Hell? What have you sort of? Where is it similar to the sort of the bases on Mars, and where is it different?
I think it's been fun. It's actually one of them because it's so open-ended. It gives us really opportunities to do lots of different things, both visually and from a gameplay perspective. Visually, Hugo could talk about kind of the process we went through in pulling it together. But from a gameplay perspective, I think when we talk about starting with gameplay, when we build a level, we start with blockouts. We just make gray shapes and make it work. Like, is it fun to move through this space, or is there line of sight blockers that you can kind of swing behind and kind of get your bearings again? Is there space for the enemies to move through? So it's a very, very abstract way to approach a space. Like it doesn't in the earliest phases, it doesn't make any sense the way it looks. And then a lot of times, it's like it's up to our artists to figure out how does that space make sense from a UAC logistical perspective. Like, what is this space? Are these boxes? Are they, is it a conveyor belt or whatever?
You've got less of a problem with that.
Got way less of a problem. It's liberating actually to a certain
The
extent.
core of the gameplay is the same, and it's actually a little bit more forgiving to make the spaces, the hell spaces, just because kind of anything goes, because it's kind of a crazy place, floating rocks, so. And all the skulls and everything everywhere. So it proved to be we could be a little bit more gamey with those spaces too, with more secrets, more hidden doors. It's a little bit more doomy. I think the hell maps are probably the most Doom, have the most Doom feel to them. It's fun. Plus, I think the feedback we've gotten has been really positive. People, when they test the game, they love going to hell. It's definitely
Should gear
fun.
up.
Awesome. That's awesome. How much of the game takes place in Hell? It was kind of like an afterthought in Doom 3. It was like the last couple of levels. How much of Doom, without, I don't get too much into it, but a substantial amount?
It's probably maybe a third or so.
Cool.
Yeah, and you actually, maybe a little more than a third. You kind of go back and forth.
Oh, cool. All right.
So, yeah, Doom 3, it kind of pushed towards the end of the game.
It's like an epilogue, almost kind of felt like.
Yeah, I always liked in Doom 3 how it kind of. I thought our artist at the time and Tim managing that one was. I loved how you kind of played through the UAC and it just got weirder and weirder and more torn apart and kind of more of that growth that kind of came through. This one we used kind of the idea of getting pulled, kind of ripped both from the UAC facilities and using portaling to get there. And so you do end up going back and forth a few times, and it worked well. I mean, it's the game is about combat, and so it's you are shooting and you are fighting a lot. So we really we used that as a way to kind of break things up and allow you to kind of have these really diverse visual experiences.
I guess one of the things about showing a game, be it on a live stream here, you're going to a website and trying to demo the game, or at a trade show, or even to like your fans, and then also with trailers, is that you want to sort of show the bombast. You want to show the power of the player to murder all these things.
Yeah.
Doom to a lot of people is a game it's quite oppressive. It's not really a power fantasy. It's a game where you're actually on the back foot and you're trying to scramble for life. Is there a way to on the higher difficulties, is this game approaching that? Obviously you don't want to come to GameSpot and put it on super hard and then be dying over and over again.
Absolutely.
But for the people who kind of like that type of difficulty, I'd definitely be in that bracket.
Yes.
Can you play Doom in that sort of way?
You can play it in a way that will make you insane, as far as how hard it is, and it's super fun. I mean, it's really fun to play that way, and it's honestly fun to kind of bounce back and forth, to play through on it really hard, really challenging you, and then when you just want to kind of chill and just be I'm just gonna sit back and flow through and just. We always call it being your own fight choreographer, or Hugo's used the term Bruce Lee on a skateboard with a shotgun. It's caught a lot of attention, but that's kind of how it feels sometimes, particularly when you play it on an easier difficulty, because you can just kind of flow through it.
Oh man.
Yeah, here you've basically jumped down an ancient demon's skull's throat.
Great.
Into the bowels of hell. But yeah, the difficulties. Hugo is playing it on kind of the default, which is Hurt Me Plenty. But there is a skill level that's easier than this, and
many that are harder.
And several that are harder.
Man, those cacodemons look nasty.
Yeah. One of our our upper end of the difficulty scale is Nightmare mode, and then Ultra Nightmare mode. Ultra Nightmare being almost sadistic, and it's you basically have to complete the game without dying.
Oh God!
There's no checkpoints.
Roguelike Doom.
Yes, right. It's really intense, and it's playing at Nightmare difficulty, but just not being able to die. Honestly, when people do that, they really love it. It's hard. It's actually cool too, because you when you die, bad mod switch there. When you die, it drops a helmet, a Doom Marine helmet in the world, and your friends will see those. And you'll see them. So you can always try and get a little bit further than you see that collection of helmets on the floor
excellent.
early in the game. Yeah.
I like it. A little bit of Dark Souls kind of in there. It's like
Yeah.
messages almost to each
Yep.
other.
And your name's above it, so it's kind of neat.
Yeah, are you guys doing anything else then in terms of, I mean, you have these little instanced areas, these challenges. Is there any leaderboards connected to that stuff, or speed running or any of that?
Yeah, not really. I mean, I think most of that'll. I mean, my feelings like a lot of that ends up happening in videos, honestly. Like
Right.
People streaming and wanting it up on YouTube and.
Another angry.
Pinky.
Is
Yeah,
that a different type of Pinky?
He's the same one, yeah.
But there are modifiers of those guys too?
Yeah, we actually have Spectres as well, if you remember from, that right there is a great strategy on him.
I
missed the shot, but those guys are their tails are kind of like their weak spot, so.
Attack its weak point for massive damage.
Yeah, exactly, so.
The Mancubuses have weak points too, like sort of the fleshy parts. You aim for most of the time, if you aim for the heads on the enemies, you'll take them out a lot faster. So when you play on the harder difficulties, you definitely want to just focus on the heads as much as you can, because it kind of comes down to burn down rates at that point, where you just want to get them out of there as fast as possible, because they start to flank you, and once they corner you, they kind of tear you to pieces.
Yeah, I mean, at least the Hell Knight has got a big sort of white skull to aim at there.
Yeah, we try to give you a nice little.
If there's anyone else in the chat who wants to have any questions, by the way, I'm keeping an eye. I just wanted to sort of show off the game as much as possible before getting into that, but I'm going to keep a little eye on it here if anyone wants to ask the guys some questions. Ooh, look at that thing.
Yeah, those are our, love those.
Do you slam a elevator menu pad at the end of any level to complete it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, pretty much any time our Doom Marine does anything, it's very aggressive.
Okay,
so
great.
He touches a few buttons, but most of the time he's punching stuff and ripping things apart.
A bunch of people in the chat. I mean, the BFG is a super popular weapon. Everyone's asking for it. You don't have it in this part of the game by any chance, do you?
I do.
Yeah, he actually does.
But I only have a couple of shots. You see the 3 chips on the bottom below my ammo. That tells me how much gas I have for the chainsaw, and it tells me how much gas I have, ammo I have for the BFG.
Okay.
So it's kind of your
nuclear weapon.
Your nuclear weapon. So you don't want to fire off the nukes.
Gotta make it count.
We'll definitely show the nukes.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
It's actually you might have noticed when we pulled up the weapon wheel that if you've seen it in these later levels, this is
This is a bad idea.
Yeah, right into the back of him.
Nice.
The chainsaw and the BFG actually aren't on the weapon wheel. On the controller, we made them specific face buttons, and on the PC specific keys.
Right. So like special use cases, I guess.
Yeah, and really that was because they're these kind of, oh my gosh. There are these things that you just want to get to immediately. You know, like when it's time to use the BFG, you're usually in a panic moment and you just got to clear house. So we didn't want you having to kind of fumble around. It's just like one quick key that you could press that's close to your left hand or right under your fingers on a controller, and you can pull it out. And
Joe X213 is asking one of the questions about the customization, I guess, of the UI and stuff. Can you change elements like the crosshairs as well?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can go with a simplified crosshair that's basically just like a dot. And you can all of the UI. You can play completely stripped down, no HUD, no compass, no glory kill, no objective notifications, all of that crosshair style. You can see he's got it on default, but it's simplified also, and that's fun. I mean, it's actually there's a thrill to playing the game with no ammo indicators or health indicators, because you're just like, I don't know where I stand. You kind of have to watch the edges of your screen and see if you're bleeding or if you're in pain.
Scroll the mouse wheel and see what comes up.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you guys have any sort of system requirements for this on PC? I mean, we're playing on PlayStation 4 and it actually looks pretty nice. Like, the frame rate's real good as well. What are you looking at on PC? I'm guessing it's going to look pretty good on PC, but what are the sort of minimum specs?
Absolutely. You know, I should know this off the top of my head. We just released them. So if people go to, I don't want to kind of misquote them. We just released an article on Bethesda.net that has our whole PC system requirements and a list of specialized custom features on the PC that allow people to really go crazy with customizing their experience and customizing the visuals.
Tutorials are popping up again.
Yeah. And we're actually working on a few things that we're hoping even expand that minimum PC spec a bit. So
Mary Kish just posted them in the Twitch chat actually. So if you're watching this on Twitch,
awesome,
should be able to get them in there.
And honestly, on PC it looks amazing. We traveled here from Dallas, and so it's easier to throw a PS3 in the backpack than a big computer rig.
Yeah, fair enough.
But the capabilities on the PC. Our tech team, some of our guys like Robert and Tiago and Jean and Billy, their pride is on the PC. I mean, we're still pushing on the PC really hard. So I think people will be really pleased.
Well, I like that detonating the rocket from behind to get that weak spot.
It is.
There's a lot of little strategies like that you can do to kind of burn down these guys faster.
I like it. Yeah, are we approaching one of the last engagements of this demo?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. When we get into that, let's just let it breathe again.
We can watch this.
All right.
This is great. I didn't even mention it. He actually got double jump, so you'll see about a quarter of the way into the game, you actually get the double jump capability. So he's going to continue to use that.
Don't forget that BFG.
I got to save it though.
See, he's played the level before, so he knows when
he knows.
to use it. Yeah.
BFG or the
I
quad?
go BFG. I think people want to see the BFG.
It's kind of a strategy because when the first time you play this, in order to survive, you definitely have to take advantages of some of the things that the level designers have put in the world for you.
Right.
So being that I already know kind of what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's almost like wave-based sort of games where you're not using too much of your
because if you use
resources.
that quad way too early, you're not going to.
Jeez, hell of a right hook. Any spiders with mechanical legs?
I can't tell you everything. Come on.
You guys have been very good about answering all these questions, so you can take a pass on that one, don't worry.
That was one of the things we actually took a lot from Rage, was like you saw the Mancubus jump down there, you've seen him crawl up pillars. Like, Rage did a great job with enemies moving through the environment in really cool ways, I think.
Yeah, those standard enemies, what were they, the sort of zombie-ish type?
Yeah, the mutants, I mean, they were different guys, but oh my god.
Whoa!
6.
Oh my god! Took out that BFG!
Right as he pulled it out, there goes your arm.
Oh, he's beating you with your own arm. Damn, happens to you as well. Is that the first time you've died on the...
Oh
I
my god.
died last time, but I was like...
You are going to hear about that for a while.
Okay, so...
Poor Hugo.
All right, we'll jump back in and show the BFG. We cannot not show the BFG. We have angry
Well, now
watchers.
now I'm not messing around. These people are going down.
Yeah, all right, yeah, exactly. No more demo. Just like straight in.
I have to
Kill
redeem
some fools.
myself.
That was ridiculous.
Okay.
Oh, we don't mind. We're not going anywhere. You can do all this again if you want.
Now it's personal.
You just let me know if you want me to play.
I did it the last time. There was good drama. That time I died.
It's a fine line, isn't it? Trying to keep that drama without.
The micro missile mod that he has here is really fun too. It's like
Nice.
they're kind of like these homing missiles, and they stick and then explode. So you get like this kind of combinatorial damage that's really fun. Right there, he's using. I haven't even talked about it. He's using grenades. They recharge. You can upgrade your equipment to recharge faster, to have multiples. And there's a few pieces of equipment in the game. You can use frag grenades or what we call siphon grenades that actually draw. They do damage to enemies, to demons, and then give you a health boost. Kind of give that back to you. And then there's a decoy that's pretty fun because you can kind of drop a decoy, and the enemies react to it and kind of start to attack it, and it gives you an opportunity to kind of take a different position on them. And you can flip through those really, really fast as well. You kind of carry them all with you. Oh my God! What he does.
All right, let's give Hugo some quiet time here. See if we can pull it out of the bag.
Big guy is going to show up in a second.
You got the big gun for him.
We got something for him. He's super strong.
Yeah, you get a little bit of the BFG. And obviously it's the BFG, so it took him out, but
Yeah.
it will take out multiples.
Oh, there you go. Don't matter if you hit him.
Yep, it's got the
it's kind
arcing
of a-
energy.
Kind of a room cleaner.
Excellent.
Usually, like, obviously after I've finished to sort of clean the room, make sure you get everything you need.
It's important.
Check
to
for
clean up
secrets.
after you.
Yeah.
That's kind of the two, like, because there's just, I'm not exposing too many of them, but there's secrets everywhere. So
Right.
I feel guilty. We've already exposed so many, but there is one.
Yeah,
What?
these are- yeah.
Collectible little Doom guys?
Yeah.
Wow.
In all different.
So you're rewarded to, like, if you want to, you could blast through the game.
That was the Keen guy, actually. So he's
Oh, that's Commander. You're kidding.
He's the Doom guy themed like Commander Keen.
Wow.
And then you go into your kind of your like where you choose to resume your campaign. You go in there and there's a viewer where you can see the ones you've picked up, and each one unlocks one of our creatures or our guns in our model viewer.
Right.
So you can go in and spin it around and look at it really close. Really take time to see the detail in that work.
Is there a Commander Keen skin for multiplayer?
There's not a Commander Keen skin.
Put it on
That
the
would
list.
be awesome. It's on the backlog already right now.
Yeah. friggin', what do you call that thing? He jumped up, pogo stick and all.
Yeah. Beans with bacon make a rocket.
So do you expect people to sort of clear out areas and then to sort of be looking a bit for the...
It's kind of a little bit of both. I mean, there's, you know, there's spaces in between the major fights where there's lots of secrets. There's secrets inside some of the major fights. So like there's some in here. Some of them are not revealed in the auto map. Those are like the super secrets. And then most of them are. So there's definitely one here. You see a door and it's red. Clearly, at some point that will open for you if you. Sometimes that's part of the main sort of progression of the game. Sometimes it's more of a secret. So doubling back, checking things.
And even with that, you know, if you're really into secrets, you really want to find them. You can upgrade your suit to give you these capabilities. He kind of has on there. One thing we didn't really talk about is like if you go back to there's another collectible.
Is there any like...
I don't know why I didn't pick him up, but so that one unlocks the Cyber Demon model. That was the silver guy. But pull up your menu again, the map. So you can see the challenges there and the exploration. Like on this map, there's 6 secrets that you can find.
Right.
He's found just 2 of them. The kind of orange triangles with the circles around them, those are your currency for upgrading your guns. So you get, in this case, you get currency for just regular combat. You get upgrade currency for these challenges. Each mode or each map has several challenges that you can combat challenges that you can get, and then you get them for exploration. So you could earn 2 upgrades just for finding secrets. So lots of different ways to, you know, if you want to upgrade your guns and get you know, make that progression, but you're kind of more into the exploration. You know, you'll get upgrades just for combat, but if you don't want to do the challenges, you can get it through exploration, and then you know.
Oh jeez. the harder difficulty, like the higher up in difficulty you go, the more that stuff really comes into play.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like if you know the way I'm playing now on Hurt Me Plenty, I don't really have to upgrade anything. I can probably beat the game, you know, without upgrading the weapons, and we want to provide the user with that experience. But like when you start going up in difficulties, the mastery of the guns in particular and the runes become super important, because mastery, like one of the masteries for the shotgun, for example, is a double tap. So there is no reload. I get 2 shots.
Super shotgun, yeah.
So it's devastatingly powerful, but you're playing on Nightmare, Ultra Nightmare, in the final levels of the game where you're because the higher up in difficulty you go, the more aggressive the enemies are. They throw more of their heavy shots at you. So you're definitely going to need a little bit more of that stuff.
You got that skull.
Yep. I got the skull, but I'm about to
skulls. And is there any narrative reason why there's all these little Funko Pop Doom dudes around?
It's just
just cool.
Yeah, it's cool. The nature of the game is it just kind of doesn't take itself too seriously, like the narrative stuff. You know, like it's all kind of tongue-in-cheeky a little bit and just for fun. And so we thought if he's going to pick up anything, he's going to pick up little Doom Guy dolls. Yeah. And you know, it just seemed amusing to us and fun. So.
Why not?
It's kind of one of those things. Like it's in the secrets. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't have to maintain a huge amount of fiction. It's just kind of like it. You want to get to those things where you find it and you're like, oh, that's awesome. So
one thing we talked about was just like the codex is actually pretty cool, because like you could you pick up data files and you can uncover a lot of the lore of the game. The narrative is pretty much out of your way. You don't have to experience it. I mean, I kind of hammed it up a little bit and stopped and listened to some of the audio files for the people watching online. But if you've done it before, you could just rip right past it. And you know, through digging the corners and checking out, picking up data files, you could pretty much put together like what happened at the UAC. You know, maybe a little bit about who you are and how you got there. And but we kind of did it in a way that we want the player to kind of piece it together. The story, it's heavy on the lore, and it's sort of oblique, and we felt like that was the right kind of story to tell for this game.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like you have done it seems like you guys are very aware of the different masters you were serving with this game.
Oh yeah.
Or the different audiences that want it. There's the people who are super into Doom, and then there are the people who just want to blaze through it really quickly. I mean, across the board, you had the same problem with the multiplayer, I guess, where you're like, you want to make something that's progressive in some way, but also harpens back. How does it feel now, being so close to release? Because surely the best thing to be would for people to play it and sort of take the game on its own terms.
That's it. And if I had one wish, it's that, or one hope, it's that people just play it. You know, you know, if they go out and buy it, they go out and buy it. If they play it at a friend's house, they play it at a friend's house, and or however you rent it, however you play games. I just want people to play it, honestly, and kind of make up their own mind. Because it's one of those games that to watch it's fun. Like, I hope people have enjoyed watching it and kind of get a sense of what it's like. But like a good game, there's nothing like playing it. There's nothing like feeling what it feels like to play. Yeah. It's one of the, it's rare that you actually work on a game and after 3 years and playing it for hundreds and hundreds of hours that you sit down and you really enjoy playing it.
Right.
I've said it before, like, he gets to play, but I'm kind of jealous because I want to be the one playing it because it's fun, but there's just a thrill to trying to make it look great and having that fun with it. That is just it's cool. I mean, we everybody internally, we are that audience. Like, right. you talk about that broad audience. Just internally, we have guys who are everywhere from 20 years old to 50 years old, 55 years old, that has every different experience with Doom that you can imagine. So we've kind of been our own audience to begin with, and made decisions a lot around making our own group happy with the game. So
yeah. I mean, you need to be your biggest critics as
you
well.
You do, yeah. You need, yeah.
Especially in a game like Doom, especially within it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, you're basically taking the prized possession of the company and putting it out there again. So
yeah.
Big responsibility.
Absolutely. And we take it very seriously. It's been a blast. It's a lot of fun, a lot of work. But I think I think when you play it, I think people who have spent a lot of time with Doom over the years will be like, this feels like a Doom game. We get that a lot when we have focus testers come in and play it or whatever. It's like, this really feels like Doom. And hopefully for new players who've never tried a Doom game, this is kind of the first of their history with the game.
Yeah, rather anecdotally, I was quite skeptical of it myself, especially from like seeing some of the trailers, the pace, the sort of the power fantasy element of it. And when I played the multiplayer beta, it was that thing where I was like, oh, I know the game I'm playing now, and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
And it's a sort of a similar experience watching single player, watching it as we have now for like an hour, where it's very, very different from watching these like truncated, edited versions of something, and then you're actually seeing the pace. You're like, oh, okay. It actually kind of reminds me of Wolfenstein in that line. I was like, oh, that's the game that's being made.
Yeah.
And then that game turned out to be pretty great. So.
And Hugo's doing a good job of making it, like, again, we've played the game a lot, so when players get in, we try to ramp them up, but the feel of campaign, the pace of it, it's kind of like watching a sport. Somebody who does it really well. They make it look. They make it look like okay, that's manageable.
I mean, when he's not getting beaten to death.
Yeah,
with his own
he did die. I guess that's true, and that was on the default difficulty. But
just running it in there.
Yeah, exactly.
The whole way back to Dallas.
Yeah, completely.
But it's a completely different experience to sit and have the controller, keyboard, mouse in your hands and just feel it. And then again, when you like on the PC, you run unlocked frame rate, up to like 140 frames a second or 150 frames a second, and a wider FOV, and kind of have tweaked it. It's like.
I mean,
it's shocking. It's shocking how fast it goes. It's just it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it does. It even feels faster on the different FOV.
For sure.
Good stuff. All right, May 13th of this year, only weeks away.
That's
My
right.
Goodness. Marty Stratton, Hugo Martin, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Any final thoughts on this? Do you have any more sort of, for people who don't have access to the game between now and the second week of May, where can you get more information on Doom? Will you be teasing out more stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got more videos coming. We've got a lot more information. We've got a whole kind of technical feature that we're doing. Best place to go is to Bethesda.net, and they'll get a good look at everything we're doing.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you both so much for coming in.
All right. Thank
enjoy
you.
the rest of your time in the
Really
Bay
appreciate
Area.
it.
No worries.
Thanks for
and
watching.
Last piece of housekeeping, by the way. I'm pretty sure we still haven't given these away. I actually don't know. But why not? Hit that RT button. Follow us on GameSpot, at GameSpot on the Twitters. You can win this hot Cyber Demon Funko Pop Games Doom number 91 added to your collection of Funko Pops. If you don't win that, we have a bunch of other little prizes as well to give out. Thank you so much for watching today's stream. As ever, hit that follow button if you're watching on Twitch. If you're watching on GameSpot, we love you loads. If you're watching this on Facebook, apparently we're streaming this on Facebook. That's a thing right now. Get off your Facebook thing. Go. Stop being on your mobile stream. Go live life. But also, thank you so much. And maybe hit a button that says follow or something. I don't know. I don't stream on Facebook. Thanks so much to Mary Kish and Eric Tay for running the stream. And we will see you next time on GameSpot Now Playing. Adios.